The Browns' offense has been abysmal through 7 games, and all of a sudden, Jameis Winston comes in at quarterback, and they look like a real offense. Colt, can he save the Browns season?
You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes
once in a lifetime.
Dude, Jameis Winston balled out, okay? Like, love listening to him talk. He may be the funniest guy on the planet for me to listen to in an interview. But have you ever seen a fan base so pumped up, so rowdy for a team that's 1-6, and they finally win a game, beat the Ravens? Jameis played great, taking a shot, throwing a touchdown deep at the end of the game. Like, he came in and executed an offense that just has been non-existent all year, right? He just played within the system. You know, they dropped a pick or two, but that helped. But overall, the Browns offense looked like an offense. And hats off to Jameis Winston and what he did. We'll see what they can do moving forward.
Before we continue with the video, I have to ask one favor. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and turn on those notifications. If you like this type of content, if you like hearing us talk football, hit that notification button. So every time we drop a video, it is coming straight to you.
First of all, let's get one thing straight. Whenever Cleveland plays Baltimore at Cleveland, whether it's 0-16 or 16-0, that place is going to be rocking because Cleveland wants to kick Baltimore's ass. Jameis, I'll tell you what about Jameis. This is one thing he's never been able to do, or never been afraid to do. He's never been afraid to throw the ball into coverage or take shots. This guy is putting balls out there for his receivers to go get. Now, the issue with Jameis has always been he throws it to the other team sometimes in inopportune situations. And he had one to Hamilton that dropped for the game winner. Hamilton caught it 4 times and dropped it. Next play, they go cover 0. He drops a dime to Tillman for a game winner. Love it. I mean, he's got ice water in his veins. He's got no fear. He's going to give his opportunities, or give his players opportunities to make plays, but he just got to calm down. They are 2-6. It's going to be a tough road, just like the Jets are 2-6. We said had no chance. Now we're saying the Browns are 2-6, but they got a chance. You guys got to make sure you do your math correctly because they're both 2-6. I don't think they have a chance. I don't think Jameis is really, he gives them a spark offensively and it's fun to watch, but I just think offensive line wise, and I just think they're still skill wise. Nick Chubb's not quite where he was, obviously, before his 2 injuries, but I just don't know if they have the firepower to beat Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and those guys in the AFC North. But they could. Jameis Winston gives them hope. He's a hell of a lot more fun to watch than Deshaun Watson, that's for sure.
Yeah, Justin, speaking of that, what does that say about Deshaun Watson, the fact that they've looked so bad and all of a sudden they actually look like they were running a legitimate offense?
Well, when you look at the Cleveland Browns, they were doing everything that the Indianapolis Colts aren't doing. The ownership clearly had a gun to Kevin Stefanski's head and said, I paid Deshaun Watson $1 billion and he is going to be the starting quarterback. As soon as you get competent quarterback play in Cleveland, they go out and beat one of the hottest teams in the NFL, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. You got Grant Delpit telling Derrick Henry he's too small, hitting him in the backfield. I'm excited for the next game just to see those two meet. Like, Derrick Henry is going to hunt him down and run him over. Jay, I'm no mathematician either. I don't think there's a way in which the Cleveland Browns make the playoffs. I think they can make it interesting.
I will say this, fellas. The NFL's got a lot of parity right now. There's a couple teams that obviously we feel like are way better. We thought Baltimore was the best team. They just lost to Cleveland. But everybody else is going to be right there. There's going to be a lot of teams that are be 9-8. 10-7, 8-9. And if Cleveland, New York Jets, those teams can get right around 500, like AQ said earlier, somebody's going to sneak in because I don't think Denver, Chargers are struggling a little bit. They're 4-3. You got the Colts are 4-4. The Jaguars are struggling. You know, the rest of the AFC, you got Miami's 2-5. The Jets are 2-6. You got the Steelers. Bengals are struggling. So somebody's going to make a midseason move. It's got to be Cleveland. It's got to be the Jets. Somebody's going to do it, and they're going to inch into the playoffs, be a 7 seed or a 6 seed, and maybe have a chance.
It just makes you disgusted, though, that how long they held on to Deshaun Watson and trotted him out there when it was such bad quarterback play. Now, I will say to Jameis's advantage, you get Wyatt Teller back, who's been an all-pro guard. Jack Conklin comes back, who's been good when healthy, just hasn't been healthy. You get Nick Chubb. You lose Amari Cooper, but you still have that defense. So I think Jameis has benefited from a lot of those things that I talked about. Me and AQ always go back and forth because everyone gives me shit for my Browns pick. But you can see, as long as you don't have Deshaun Watson out there, the Cleveland Browns have some talent on this roster. Jameis is now the beneficiary of all that talent, just like Flacco was last year.
Colt, let me ask you this question. Whenever you watched the film this past week, Were they doing anything different offensively? Because I know they catered a lot to what Deshaun did down in Houston. Were they back to what Stefanski does, or was Jameis running the same stuff that Deshaun was doing?
Same exact playbook. That playbook doesn't change. It revolves around the tight end. Tight ends usually won in a lot of the formations, a lot of the pass concepts. They ran the ball effectively. Like Justin said, they got a few guys back, and Jameis just executed the offense. It was simple, and they moved the ball. Obviously, the Ravens have problems on the back end. Right, that we've discussed that on this show. Again, they're not great at covering. You saw John Harbaugh say we're going to uncover and overturn every stone to figure out what we can do to help our defense. But I just felt like from the first snap to the end, Jameis took his shots when they were there. He executed the system within the sort of the boundaries of playing quarterback. It was his first start out there, and I just thought he did a really nice job. And probably internally, let's be honest, the team was rallied around him. The team helped him out all week. So look, let's go see what happens. Just play good. We're going to try to play better on defense. We're going to get you some shots down the field. And I felt like overall it was executed properly, and he gave him a chance to win at the end. He hit a big play. Ball game.
Can Jameis right the ship, and will the Cleveland Browns make the playoffs?
Well, I did pick them to win the AFC North, so I might as well. I've been on this burning boat, just like waving at you guys all season, and I'm going to stick with them. The Cleveland Browns are going to fight, scratch, and claw. They're going to sneak into the wild card, and they are going to be a team that you do not want to face come January.
I don't think they can, although I love the fact that Jameis is back there. Makes it exciting. But like I said before, in these close contests that they're going to have moving forward, Jameis will turn the ball over at inopportune times, and it's going to cost them about 2 or 3 games. They just don't have any margin for error. You lose 3 games, now you're 8-9, and you're not going to get in, buddy. So I don't think they're going to get in. I think they're going to lose at least 9 or 10 games this year.
Yeah, I'm with Jay. I don't see it. Jameis brings a little spark to this team, but when you look at their offense overall, yeah, they did get a couple pieces back on the O-line, but skill set wise, like player wise, they got it's the AFC North. It's a battle every week, and I don't think they're going to be able to overcome what their record is right now, regardless of who's playing quarterback.
I agree. It looks like we're 3 against 1 once again. Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today. All right, if Jameis comes out the rest of the season and has a monster second half of the year, is there even a place for Deshaun whenever he comes back next year, Jay?
Yeah, there's a place on the airplane out of Cleveland. Jameis Winston in one game, to me, showed a hell of a lot more promise as a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns than Deshaun did his entire playing career with the Browns. He made throws in the pocket. He took hits. He threw the ball down the field. He was accurate. He was on time. He threw the ball into coverage a little bit. I'm a stickler on that, though. But to me, if he goes out and he somehow leads this team to the playoffs, this is Jameis's team.
Right? All it takes is just trusting the system, executing the system, doing the simple things, making the right checks and audibles, not trying to do too much. I felt like Jameis did that. Flacco did it last year. So it would be hard for me to see Deshaun Watson coming back and being the starter on this football team next year. Although, Pugh, contracts better than me. How much money do they owe him?
That's the issue. Deshaun Watson will have the largest dead cap hit if they go to cut him. So you almost have to keep Deshaun Watson on the team and just have him help with the lunch, help, prep the team, be the scout team quarterback, keep him around in case what if happens. I think Jameis Winston actually is an ideal candidate. I don't think, even regardless how well Jameis plays this year, is he going to go command $30 million on the open market. So you're looking for someone in that space. So if Jameis does go out there and play well, then Jameis Winston's going to go earn that contract. He'll go elsewhere. You have to bring somebody in. Think about like a Drew Lock in New York, or a quarterback that is having a flux, and try to bring that guy in. You can't get rid of Deshaun Watson's contract. But like I texted AQ, process over results. Deshaun was the biggest flop. It's the worst contract. But the way the Cleveland Browns spend, they'll be able to keep him on the roster next year. The following year, they'll probably designate him and they'll cut him like post-June, spread out his cap hits. Hopefully the salary cap goes up and they can bring in a competent quarterback. Maybe it's not Jameis, but you go get a $5 to $10 million a year quarterback that is still, it can go out there and compete like a Joe Flacco, like a Jameis Winston they found the previous 2 years. And the Cleveland Browns can still be competitive. It's just gonna definitely hurt them. That Deshaun Watson contract is no good.
Didn't you tell me in the offseason that the Cleveland Browns did the best job of spending money of anybody in the NFL?
Them and the Eagles.
You said the Browns did. And you're talking about the largest cap hit from a quarterback who hasn't won a game in 2 years.
Jay, look, as you know, you can swing and miss on quarterbacks, right?
That's a swing and a miss. That is Aaron Judge in the World Series right now.
When you turn on the film of Deshaun Watson, what he was able to do in Houston, if you could have added him in,
that's a lot of ifs. He wasn't that great last year at Houston. He got hurt, then he got in trouble, and then we're going to offer this guy $500 million to come to Cleveland.
So all I'm asking is, do you think the Philadelphia Eagles philosophy of spending money is a flawed one?
No, they've done very well. They're very competitive every year. They've been to a Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl. So
the Cleveland Browns, Andrew Berry came from that system. He's doing the exact same thing. He's actually spending more money. And that's why if you get just all right quarterback play, you can take that team to the playoffs.
That's a hard thing to do, Justin. Everybody's looking for quarterback play. You can't be wrong. Otherwise, you'll be getting new coaches every year.
The Browns have gone out with Flacco to the playoffs, and now it's looking like if they would have gone to Jameis early on in this season, they wouldn't be 2-6.
The Texans in the playoffs. They got beat by 50. Where was the defense and all these great players when the Texans were running the ball up and down the throat in the playoff game?
Yeah, I know. I'll have to ask Andrew Berry on that one.
Yeah, ask Andrew.
Jay, you should be a GM. You shouldn't have ever been a head coach.
You're right about that.